Seguimos en FutureCom 2014 en Sao Paulo, ya lo deben saber, y vamos a iniciar un debate sobre Big Data con dos empresas, HP y NEC, para entender mejor el mercado de Big Data para los operadores. Vamos a cambiar al inglés, que es el idioma común, aunque como ellos son nativos de Brasil y yo hablo español, si en algún momento se nos va y hablamos en otro idioma, no pasa nada. Gentlemen, welcome to telesemana.com. And as I said, we're going to be doing this in English, but at some point you change to Portuguese, feel free to do so if you want to. Okay, so as I said, thank you for being here. First question would be for you to give me an update on where the big data market is for telecom operators. Where are we at this point?
Well, okay, big data is not so new topic in the market because since the 80s there has been several initiatives on that data mining, but currently as common knowledge, the growth of data generated either by business or by human, but especially now with Internet of Things, where huge amount of data are generated, those shall be used for to take advantage to explore and better the resources of human activity as well. The business, and of course a huge amount of data demands that data to be transferred among several places, and so telecommunication is an essential part of it.
Okay. Your idea of big data today, where are we at?
Well, the telecom industry in general, it's very used to generation of a large amount of data, and this has been like this for a while. At the beginning, the massive data was around the CDRs, but right now we are also talking about the data traffic, which is very huge. There's also the machine-to-machine traffic that seems to grow very, very high. They're very high, very exponential growth on this side. And also, but there are also other opportunities to think about big data, like communication with call centers, the voice recording, and there are several uses that we did not even start to approach, that a big data approach can bring some value to the carriers in terms of reducing of costs and eventually generating revenue.
Okay, one of the things that I hear when we talk about big data is that the operators have a problem which is not technical or technological, which is part of their staff. The organization is set up in a way that is not efficient to use this data. I don't know if you think the human resources within the operators are what's preventing them from using all the data, or is technology what is preventing them from using all this data? So human versus technology, what it is? The main barrier?
I think that a bit of the two. But there are also other factors that, of course, on the technological side, we have to store the data or analyze it in real time. And these are very both are very complex challenges that have to be handled. So we need to have some means of analyzing the data in real time so that we do not need to store it, or we have to store it and then analyze it further.
Okay.
So this is our technical challenges. On the operational aspects, we don't have it does not make sense to talk about a big data department. So the big data approach has to be in all systems and all processes, and there has to be some care about tracking what has to be tracked. And so there are some challenges, and nowadays we are also facing with other challenges related to security and privacy that are also preventing carriers to move on a more aggressive manner into these
big data programs.
Approach.
Yeah, I think when we talk about human resource, this is a pivotal issue where stands the difficultness to advance in real applications, because it's really complex to identify patterns among a huge amount of data, and skillful people to develop applications is very hard to find, because it's something quite new, and the modeling of data in order to to be analyzed and extracted valuable information to be used as strategic information to apply in any kind of business is something that requires high skillful people in order to achieve real applications.
Yeah, because we have structured data and structured data. We have both. And then we have, as you were saying, and you also commented on it, we have a lot of data. Like operators probably are the companies in the world that are managing more data in any given country. How do they decide which, because you were saying storing data, but at some point if you keep storing everything, you're going to need a lot of storage. And if you start reshaping this data, both structured and unstructured, it takes a lot of time. When do you decide some data are going to be used, this data we're going to disregard? So what is that whole process of knowing which data is useful and what data you can disregard because it's probably not providing enough information to make decisions?
Yeah, linking this remark with the previous question, for structured data, there are plenty of highly skillful people which can develop infinite number of applications to make efficient use of data to produce information. But when you're talking about unstructured data, that comes...
It's complicated.
Yeah.
Well, I see that, well, we have to start. We have to choose somewhere to start. And obviously, the data that has to be stored is a good start because it already has to be there. So we need to store the CDRs. We need to store some logs, access logs. We need to store customer records. We need to store customer contacts. So this is a good start. And from this there are some very nice opportunities around understanding more what is the customer requirements, what is the experience that customer is having, what benefits can we bring to the customer, what else can we do to reduce complaints and to improve the service. A second phase would be to handle the data that we are not even touching nowadays. So the communication, when the customer calls the call center, usually the conversation is recorded, and this becomes an unstructured data.
Yeah.
So what can we do with this? Are we going to have an engine that will hear everything again? Maybe that doesn't make any sense. The best thing is to have a real-time engine that at the time that the customer is talking would depict some information. Is the customer angry? What is the customer problem? How was the service? Did we clear the question, the trouble, the question the customer raised it? So these are things that we can possibly depict from the speech, from the tone, from.
Well, this is something interesting, and let me go back to the human aspect and the machine aspect, because when I attended other events where they were talking about big data, some people said, we are far away from having sophisticated tools to do that type of job, and today probably it's even easier to have a set of 5 or 6 data engineers, so to speak, that would handle some of that unstructured data even. I don't know if what you're saying is now ready to be deployed in the operators, or we're talking about technology that is for the future.
Yeah, we do have some solutions that are exactly were made for this. So we are able to analyze unstructured data, so like audio and like video, and get some information.
So this is commercially available?
Yes, it's commercially available.
Okay, sorry, you were going to say?
Yes, he mentioned about a very important part of big data, which is unconventional data, which is video, audio, and are there applications that are relatively easily convert voice to text, which can be processed and be analyzed, and video, which can be used for evaluate the behavior of a person, of a group, of a crowd. And of course, this is huge, and this has to be moved in order to be processed, analyzed, to make prediction. And that's the point where human resource gets thin or rare, because we are talking about aspects which is not easy to modeling, and in this sense, all the company, all the business has to focus on developing human resources. But of course, there are practical uses such as analysis behavior for crowd detections. It's already pilots working on the world, which my company provides.
Okay, let me tell you two concepts that I heard lately related to big data, and you tell me the definition if you know it. One is small data. When people are talking about big data, no, we should start with the small data. Is there a definition for small data? It's something that you've heard or that you're using as well in your marketing or in your company? Or this is something new that...
No, I would say it's conventional data. For example, all information regarding your existence, your age, or the birthday.
That's small?
Yeah, that's a structured data. And this is treated by any computer system, and it is used in real time in any part of the world. I would say that it's small data.
You have a definition for small data?
Yeah, small data. Yeah, well, I would go on the contrary. For big data, it's usually related to the volume. We think that it's more than the volume. It's more related to the generation of it. How far can we process it? And I would consider small data like the conventional data or the conventional use that we have been making of the data that we generate. And nowadays, I think that the challenges are much more. Will go beyond the volume, because we really have to handle the data at the time it's being generated.
Okay.
I would like to add that outside the common data or the regular data, there are relations. So regarding you have a family which lives in a country which is susceptible to a disaster.
How do you know?
Natural disaster. Yeah, that could happen to anyone.
That's my family.
Yeah, and all these relations which has on its tail a huge amount of data leads to a big data.
Okay. And if you thought the small data was a tough one, here this one, fresh data.
Real-time, online generated data. For example, my car is in the parking lot. If the alarm sounds, it sends immediately a data to me. It's a very fresh data.
Okay, same.
Yeah, that's not tough.
That's easier even.
Yeah, it's easier.
I heard it yesterday for the first time, so I thought it was going to be tougher.
Because data ages, and as it ages, it's still useful in the future because it can be used as a statistical tool to evaluate statistical facts.
Okay. Are there any other concepts?
No, it's more related to how fast can you use the data that's being generated. And this comes more to the real-time approach, which I think it's valuable. We are not, most carriers are not exploring this. Mm-hmm. And the point is, can we react in real time or very quick to a new piece of information that was just regenerated? And that's the point, and that's the real challenge from now on. That's my opinion.
Okay, shall we get used to this small data, fresh data, and concepts? Are these words that we need to keep in mind for the future, or?
Yes, definitely. I
don't know, because big data is being reduced to small data and fresh data. And
if you are in the consultancy business, for sure, you have to build these new acronyms and these new concepts.
For marketing purposes.
Yes.
Okay. Eduardo, Marcos, thank you so much, and have a good show.
Thank you.